The Gundestrup Cauldron, an elaborately decorated silver bowl, is one of the best representations of Celtic artwork found anywhere in the world. It consists of several individual relief panels, each depicting a different scene, the most well-known of which is probably the image of Cernunnos. A little less well-known, however, is another panel that features soldiers carrying the Carnyx, an ancient Celtic battle horn. Hey everybody, it's me, Eric Arcadian, and this is my show, where I talk about the things that interest me. Spirituality, music, magic, witchcraft, and the occult. Today's topic is the ancient Celtic battle horn, otherwise known as the Carnyx. The Gundestrup Cauldron itself is 27 inches in diameter and dates back to sometime between 200 BCE and 300 CE. Even if you've seen it before, I highly recommend actually looking at this thing, and I have several pictures on my website, which I will link in the show description. It was originally discovered in a bog, quite accidentally, by peat cutters near the hamlet of Gundestrup, which is in Himmerland, Denmark, in the year 1891. Unfortunately, it is an incomplete artifact. There's an exterior panel missing and only 2 portions of the rounded top edge remain. The entire cauldron was first found in a disassembled state, with the pieces stacked up on top of each other, possibly buried in an attempt to hide it. I would imagine that the job of reassembling it for the first time was an interesting puzzle to solve. It's made almost entirely of silver, but also contains smaller amounts of gold, lead, and tin. This is not a typical example of Iron Age metalwork. It is a spectacular one, and perhaps one of the largest ever discovered. The interior panel A shows a scene of the horned god Cernunnos sitting cross-legged, holding a snake and a torque, and surrounded by animals. It is iconic, but not the point of this episode. What you should really focus your attention on is a battle scene on one of the other panels, specifically interior plate E, where soldiers stand on the side, each raising a fearsome object high into the sky. What are these strange animal-headed monstrosities they're holding? This is the Carnyx, the Celtic battle horn. Their purpose was to instill fear and cause confusion on the battlefield. If you saw a parade of these headed towards you, then you were definitely in trouble. It wasn't a pack of weird animals coming to ruin your day. It was a Celtic army coming to murder the crap out of you. Other ancient civilizations had their own battle horns as well. Ancient Egypt, for example, had the sheneb, a straight metal horn, many of which were found in Tutankhamun's tomb. The Greeks had the salpinx, a straight, narrow tube with a flare at one end, usually cast from bronze, and the Romans had the cornu, an almost circular instrument that would curve around the player's shoulder. These types of horns were typically used to communicate things like troop movements on the field, to sound an attack, or call for a retreat. But the Carnyx was different. Standing 12 feet tall, it was a weapon in and of itself. Their thunderous, woeful sound was meant to frighten enemies. And to top it off, pardon the pun, the raised ends were shaped into animal heads with open mouths. So it would have actually looked like the noise was coming out of a terrifying creature. By the way, if you're enjoying this type of content, you can find more over on my YouTube channel or support my work on Patreon. Links will be in the show description. Diodorus Siculus, a Roman historian who I have no idea if I'm saying the name correctly, apparently mentioned the Celts and the Carnyx, saying, "Their trumpets are also of a peculiar and barbaric kind, which produce a harsh, reverberating sound suitable to the confusion of battle." I haven't actually double-checked the source of that quote, so take it for what you will, but it certainly sounds legit to me. If you'd like to view the Gundestrup Cauldron today, you can usually see it at the National Museum of Denmark in Copenhagen. There are a few other museums with replicas, and occasionally the real cauldron goes on tour, but if that's somewhat out of your reach, worldhistory.org also has some pretty awesome pictures, and I will post all of those links as well in the show notes. I know this is a short episode, but ancient instruments are fascinating and they deserve to be talked about. They're so intertwined with history and mythology. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. If you liked this episode, check out the description for links to more of my work, including my YouTube channel, blog, and Patreon. I'm Eric Arcadian, and until next time, stay tuned for more.